So, of course, Providence is a big subject here in the DC area today, simply because Malik Mack, all the reports say his next stop is going to be at Providence College. So, when you look at what Bryan Hodgson has done in this short period of time, he has grabbed 10 new players, right? So you say, well, how do you think he'll do? And what people say is, oh well, he's a great coach and da da da. In the portal world, when you go to a new program and you need this many people, your style of play has a lot to do with whether you have immediate success or not, right? And we've seen it. I'm right here in the DMV. I kept hearing time and time again, why is Kevin Willard being successful in year one and Buzz Williams isn't? Because Buzz Williams plays a style where he truly needs to get his people. And Kevin Willard's style, especially on offense, there is a bigger pool of players who can fit into that offense stylistically than what a lot of players are asked to do for Buzz, not only on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end. So there's a bigger learning curve. The player pool is not as big, and all of those things. So that has a lot to do with success in year one. Now, and you see Buzz, he's got a boatload of players too. And we'll talk about that in a separate thing, because we're talking about Providence here. But when I look down at the guys that Providence have grabbed, very simply put, I expect for Hodgson to have a lot of success in his first year. Because if they play the style that they played at South Florida, and there's going to be some tweaks because it's a different conference and stuff. So I'm not saying that it's going to be copy paste, but the cores are the same. And then I look at guys like Malik Mack, like Think Pate, and those guys in there, and then someone like Ryan Sable and those guys in there. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, they can get off to a very good start in year one, simply because the philosophy he's going to bring in and the type of player he's going to want in that philosophy should work. Now, there's a reason why I say the type of player in that philosophy. Because on the surface, people say, well, Kim does a lot of da-da-da-da-da. The philosophy might have some similarities. The players that Kim targeted, as opposed to the players that the current coach are targeting, are different type of players. You can try to twist into similarities and philosophies and some of the things that they do as far as with tempo and stuff like that, but it was a different type of player. Kim came after a different type of player to put in that than Hodgson has. I just feel like Hodgson has a better chance with the roster and the type of players that he's asking to be in it. He has a better chance at immediate success than what Kim had. And so, and sustainable success than Kim had. So that's why I feel like Providence College and getting Malik and those guys, that this is going to, I would be surprised if it didn't work. Now, do I think they're going to win the Big East? I mean, if you ask me here in April, I'm going to probably say no, or I don't know, because, rosters aren't full yet. They're not full yet. So, the UConns and the St. John's, you want to see what they look like with a complete roster. But from where Providence is, he's going to have success with the roster that he's bringing in. He's going to have success faster than, like I said, someone like a Buzz Williams, just because of philosophy and just because of player pool. And like I said, we saw it with Kevin Willard, and I'll say this. People say, well, Marcus, what exactly did Kevin Willard do? Coaching, it's not like he did anything spectacular and stuff like that. He played a style that was conducive to this highly transitional roster era that we currently live in. And that allowed him to do what people think is simple, but it's not simple. He beat the teams he was supposed to beat. And people are, oh, well, yeah. Look how many times, especially in this era, with all the movement, look how many times the teams don't do that. So I know people going to say, oh, well, that's a low bar, but it's not a low bar. He has a system that allowed him to bring in all those players that allow him to beat the teams he's supposed to beat. And they go to the NCAA tournament. What Providence has brought in that system that they run, if it's going to look similar to what he did at South Florida, he has players in there that will enable him to, on most nights, beat the teams he's supposed to beat. And that could be 24 wins, it could be 25 wins, it could be 4th place in the Big East, it could be 6th place in the Big East, it could be 3rd place in the Big East, it could be all of those things. So that's why I am bullish. Without giving predictions, I am so bullish on Providence coming into next season. It's Mark Washington, MTC Media.